Hello everybody, Michael here, back with some updates on the EquipIQ project. Major changes rolled out here, specifically to the equipment, FMS export, and the category lifespans. So let's dive in. So we've simplified the user interface with equipment. So now when you click an equipment that you already have in here, this menu has been cleaned up. So it's just showing you the very important information. If you want to go see the documents from import, you can go and do that. If you want to go see the attachments associated with it, you can go and do that as well. It's all still there. Editing is also super easy. It's pretty much the same thing. There's one major update, and that is if you're allocating, because this shows up later somewhere else. So not only would you change your COGS, but you'd also say if it's overhead only or if it's an owner perk. Why is that important? Because that'll show up in the FMS export area. So in this case, we're leaving that here, partially for the field, and overhead owner perk. Why owner perk? Why? Because I've noticed that some contractors have vehicles not for operation in their insurance policy. So when you upload your insurance policy, the AI scrapes it and then gets everything organized. You just want to be able to label that. So this, by labeling it, it keeps it clean, but it lets you allow you to use it in your insurance function. Okay. Next up, huge major update to the export tool. So you will see that for the LMN section, if you're an LMN user, it's split up by field equipment and by overhead equipment. Okay. Why is that important? It needs to clean it up, show you here visually, hey, what are you going to put in the equipment tab in your LMN budget? And what are you going to put in your overhead equipment budget? So it splits them out. Secondarily, it now shows you the items that you own outright without payments and the ones you have payments on. Why? Because further functionality is coming, and that is that if you want to recover the value of your payments, you can do that. If you want to recover it as if you fully owned it, you can do that too. There's a big difference there. Payments generally are higher in value than if you owned it outright. And so if you don't want it to impact your cash flow, then you're going to use your payments. But if you want to be more competitive and you want to be more appropriate for your budgeting and for your pricing, then you're going to do it as if you own it. The functionality is not in here yet, but you will be able to just say, hey, yes, I know it's leased, but let's treat it like we own it. So it's going to give you these values, or let's pass the payments through to the clients. Then you'll have that ability. That's coming, still working on it, but it's layered there. What is the other thing here? Oh, last thing here is before it would show each individual item here, but it doesn't do that anymore. It simplifies your data entry into LMN. So here, see, for example, with standard excavators, you can see the two of them that are in this category. So now when you put them in, you're simply just going to grab this name, put it in LMN budget, and then copy the quantity that you have two of them. It's averaged the replacement value. It's the same life expectancy for that item, and it's average resale value. Okay. So now instead of putting two into LMN, you put one into LMN, shortens your admin workload and simplifies it. Okay. Again, simple is better. Easy is better than hard. Simple is better than complicated. So that's what we're doing here. And that is how LMN was built according to the previous founders. So that's how I want you to use it. Last but not least, huge major update into category lifespans. We have now introduced machine hours and mileage. Bunch of research was done into this. More is coming. There's so much room to grow on this. It's not even funny. But why have I done that? Because I'll give you an example. I have a ride-on zero-turn mower that we use only on the property here to take care of our property because we don't offer mowing. A commercial mower in here will be about 5 years of useful life. Where is it? Here. 3,000 to 5,000 hours based on the research. Do you think I have 3,000 hours on that machine? I've had it for 5 years. I do not. So we're going to layer on to the resale value and useful life by letting users input their mileage and hours of their machines. So if you got an in-house mechanic, if you've got a good ops manager, if you've got a good crew leader who once a year, quarterly, monthly, I don't really care, you can go through your fleet, check all your hours, import it in here. Now we can then go to the market. The next layer on that will be your useful life will adjust based on the hours. So it won't be calendar based anymore. Some items are calendar based. They'll stay calendar based. But machine hours and mileage is very important to have that as a metric instead. We can then adjust resale values based on hours and the model year now. So next level for that intelligence will be, we'll go out to the open internet, take your machine hours and model year, hours, mileage, go to the open market, say, hey, it's worth this much, wholesale or this much retail, and not have to use hard coded percentages anymore based on research. So if you use those functions, great. Otherwise, you'll fall back just on these base values. Whatever complexity you have in your business, whatever intelligence you want, you'll be able to use. So these are happening. These aren't all in here, but this is where we're going with it. But super happy to launch that. It just means that we're getting tighter on the intelligence, tighter on the finances, making you a more efficient, productive, profitable contractor as it relates to your equipment. The sky is the limit here, but as we progress, we're going through the next best thing to include and managing all that intelligence for you, so that all you have to do is be including it in your budgets, be creating your equipment rates properly, and then looking at your business and filling in the gaps, saying, hey, if I add this equipment to that crew, how much more value do I get in the business in that sector? And so you'll be able to, over time, as we update this, come in EquipIQ, look at it, be like, hey, my gap's here. Let's fill this in. Let's move on. Gone are the ways of complicated spreadsheets. I know I've talked to some of you. You guys have these crazy spreadsheets that you can barely read because there's stuff all over the place. It's not a good experience. And then on the flip side of this, we're looking at, can we integrate into API with the estimating softwares? What functionality do users need for this to talk to other AI systems or other systems in your business? Looking at it all, it'll happen over time. Ideally, this is going to be the most comprehensive equipment tool that any landscaper has ever had. And this will not be a leaky bucket in your business anymore. That's our bet. That's our hope. So talk to you soon. See you later. Kick ass.